Man, I love this game. It's such a cool throwback to the Nintendo and SNES games I grew up playing with my brothers at both home and the arcades. The classic beat-em-up gameplay, the vibrant pixel art, and the brilliant sound design all point to a deep respect and admiration for the source material. It makes this game a must-play for existing die-hard fans and newcomers alike. Levels are varied, boss fights are always fun and interesting. Even straight off the bat, watching the intro makes me feel like I'm in the early 90s, waiting for the cartoon to start or about to load up one of the earlier games I mentioned. Like all good beat 'em ups though, it's easy to pick up, but hard to master. You can certainly button mash your way to the end on the easier difficulties, or with friends, and that will get you a fair amount of the trophies, but the higher difficulties require better timing, knowledge, and skill to get through. The trophies complement every aspect of the game, asking you to explore all the areas to gather collectibles, and use every character to achieve max level, the only real grind in the game. One very tough trophy that I personally had to practice so much on makes this a respectable and difficult platinum. This also has some of the best trophy art I've seen all year. I began the game in multiplayer as myself and a friend had access via PlayStation catalogue. We completed the first playthrough, which is 16 levels in only about 2 play sessions. This amounted to just a couple of hours, but I enjoyed every second of it. It's short and sweet, but this doesn't take away from the game at all. It was a blast. I enjoyed every level and boss, the cutscenes, the voice lines. This game kind of just sucks you in and makes you feel like you're part of that era. I managed to earn 16 trophies in this initial playthrough, which is a fair amount of the 30 needed for the platinum. The trophies can be put into several categories: story related and therefore unmissable, collectibles, multiplayer only, but keep in mind this includes local multiplayer as well, and Misc, where we'll be finding some of the harder trophies, and lastly a couple of difficulty related ones. After completing the game for the first time, I started the rest of the trophies by loading a game up as Casey Jones, a classic protagonist and unlockable fighter you get for completing the game. Then I thought I'd give what I thought was one of the harder trophies in the game a go. Perform a 250 hit string, basically a 250 hit combo without being hit and without dropping the chain. You get a fair amount of time in between the hits before the chain disappears. Still, it took a lot of practice where I just replayed the first level over and over again until I knew the enemy placements and understood the dodging and attack mechanics a bit better. Supers make you invulnerable, for example, and offer a lot of hits to contribute to the 250. You can also combo foot soldiers into walls, but this seemed tricky or at least inconsistent to do for me, so I just focused on doing it the old-fashioned way, killing a lot of foot soldiers in a row without being hit. Eventually I got it, and practiced so much I was able to complete the first level without being hit. I honestly thought this was a trophy in itself, but no, it's just an in-game challenge. Still, this really helped me during the game. It just made me genuinely better at it, so I would recommend the same process. I then attempted one of the more challenging sounding trophies again by completing arcade mode on the hardest difficulty, but I did this in multiplayer. Arcade mode is just level to level, no Mario-esque overworld to navigate, no leveling, no collectibles to gather, just a classic arcade experience. It was still challenging, but always felt like I had loads of help from the other players. Co-op obviously shines in Shredder's Revenge, and there's some great mechanics like sharing health, resurrecting down teammates, and team combos. It would have been an interesting requirement to pull this off solo, but I imagine a difficulty rating would rock it up. Another arcade trophy required me to complete it without using a credit, so without losing one life. This was nerve-wracking even on... I'm not sure actually if this was the easiest difficulty or not, but I did do it in multiplayer, so again, that would make it a lot easier. Bosses still do damage, and are probably the main threat of the playthrough. So I'd recommend going for this once you've got a bit of knowledge under your belt, once you've completed it once or twice. Only a few trophies were left at this point, so I replayed some levels, found all the collectibles. They're generally hiding behind breakable objects, so make sure to check every screen and destroy any objects kicking about the environments. Each level has a tracker on the overworld, so you can easily check what you're missing. Handing in the collectibles on the world map gives you a good chunk of XP needed to level up all the characters, which you'll need for the max level trophy. You can do New Game Plus, carry over all your XP levels, but reset the collectibles and regain the XP again. I ended up doing maybe 2 or 3 full playthroughs of the story just to gather the collectibles. Another trick is before handing in the collectibles, fill up your team with local players using any extra controllers you might have. You can then distribute the XP bonuses to every character that you have a spare controller for, which is pretty handy leveling 4 characters at the same time. By far the hardest trophy is Who Needs a Dock. Defeat Super Shredder without being hit. I knew this trophy existed before I started the game, and after facing Super Shredder on my first playthrough in multiplayer, I knew how hard this was going to be. I find learning patterns in boss fights especially fun. So if there's one type of trophy I enjoy, it's the don't get hit by this super boss kind. It is like I had to summon all my strength and knowledge from Mega Man, Metroidvanias, Soulsborne to even attempt this trophy. The worst thing is, you have to kill the Phase 1 boss first, Krang in the Statue of Liberty. It became a chore to defeat Krang flawlessly, only to get hit instantly by Shredder as soon as the battle starts. I've no one to blame but myself, of course, but Super Shredder can start with several different moves in the get-go. It can be randomized as a lot of RNG, but with practice, I was able to react faster and do better. Still, it was very disheartening to get hit instantly sometimes. I tried several characters, which actually helped with the XP gain. As I was killing Krang over and over again, I was getting XP for that. I felt I was getting closer and closer to victory. I was just waiting for that one good run.
Impossible.
That was definitely one of the harder trophies I've gotten recently, and felt super rewarding. Look how much health I took away from him in that final phase. It was a really good run. But I wasn't done yet. I still had to grind the XP levels, complete the game with everyone. I was sitting on collectibles, so I managed to get the XP for that quick enough. With that trophy popped, that just left a single trophy of completing the game with everyone. I worked out who I needed, as I hadn't tried April or Casey versus Super Shredder at all. So I quickly got them done, and finally, no trophy. No platinum trophy, no complete the game with everyone trophy. I was like, hang about, what's going on? I went through the character select and definitely completed it with all the 7 base characters. It's really weird. There is an in-game tracker of the trophies, so I'm just going to check that. Seven out of 9. Normally, I'm happy to see 7 of 9, but this isn't cool. There are 7 base characters and 2 DLC characters. The DLC didn't add any trophies, so I hadn't even considered buying it at the time. but it looks like the requirement for the trophy went up when the DLC characters were released. With some quick checking online, yep, it's confirmed. A confirmed bug acknowledged by the devs with a promised patch fix incoming. So the platinum is unobtainable unless you buy the post-release DLC, you already own the post-release DLC, or you already have the trophy before the DLC was released. Ugh. I've not been in this situation before, and it's been the only bad experience with the whole game. I still haven't caved. I don't have the platinum for Shredder's Revenge. That's the twist, and I'm waiting patiently. I've got the hardest trophy in the game, but no platinum trophy to show for it. Now there is a trick to install the base 1.0 version, but it's a little long-winded, and I'm in no rush to get the platinum that probably should already be mine. It hasn't ruined the experience at all, but I can't help but still recommend it. It's been an amazing game. Overall, it's a fantastic return to the golden age of arcade beat-em-ups. It's easy to pick up for newcomers, but also rewarding for veterans or existing fans of the genre, with deeper mechanics, challenging difficulties, and of course, wonderful trophies with wonderful trophy art. That I can recommend the game to trophy hunters without an achievable platinum should hopefully speak volumes of the quality of Shredder's Revenge. It absolutely nails the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles spirit. And that's a massive important thing for me for these games. Can you imagine a game that didn't feel like Turtles? I wouldn't care about it. And then I find out it doesn't have an obtainable platinum right now, I'd be mad. But I'm not mad, I'm just happy with the experience I got, and I'm patiently waiting for the patch. So that's all for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you did. Otherwise, take care, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.
You snooze, you lose, Toidles.